It's time for the MMA-Holes!
From the Jump Back Studios of Arizona, we're live with the MMA-Holes!
Wonderful.
Welcome to the MMA-Holes Live. My name is Chris, Mystic Moss, King of the Dragons. I will be your host for the evening. I got a spectacular show planned for you tonight on a Wednesday night, so I ask you in return to hit the like button. Yes, I know, the Rangers are playing tonight. I fucking get it, but I love you guys so fucking much, and I love this guest. Let me just tell you something. I'm very excited to have this gentleman on the show tonight. We'll be talking about Conor McGregor and the Sphere and all that stuff, and we'll intertwine that, but don't worry, this is more important. Actually, you know what? Before I get to the guests, let's talk about our sponsors. How about that? MyBookie.ag. The promo code is MMAHOLES for a 10% match on your first deposit. Go on over to MyBookie.ag, use the promo code, and win big. Do it responsibly. Don't be a degenerate. Dubby, link in the description down below. They have cans now for you guys. So not only can you get the powder with the 10% code MMAHOLES, but they did unveil the can. So check it out. It's carbonated, no sugar, clean energy, and you can get hydrated at Dubby. Link in the description down below. ESPN Plus. Click the link in the description if you want to watch any of the UFC fights. I don't know how much longer the UFC is going to be with ESPN Plus, but for the time being, click the link in the description and we get a little kickback. Okay, let's get underway over here as we have a spectacular show, like I said before, 17-5-0. This bantamweight over here just came off a first-round finish against a man named Vinicius Salvador. I always fuck up that name. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get up, get loud for our guest tonight. His name is Adrian Yanez.
Hey. Yo, what's up, my guy?
All right, first off, Adrian, am I saying the name right now? Yanez?
Oh, yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
Okay, because I got a little nervous. I heard it. I heard an interview with you. You did Marcus Deegan's show, which I'm friendly with him. Very nice guy. And you said your name as Yanez, and I was like, "Whoa, no!" So now, do you say that because you're like, they're gonna fuck it up anyway, or like, why is that?
Yeah, a bit of both. Like it's like a bit of like two sides. You know, it's like I've been saying it for the longest time, because it goes back to like everything kind of being I guess a little bit like whitewashed in a sense of like nobody could say my last name for the longest time. Everybody had the problem of saying Yanez, and ever since I was young, like my dad and my mom just didn't want to deal with it and completely continue to correct people. They were just like, yeah, Yanez, whatever. And it just kind of stuck with me too. So that's how it was like I would be saying it. So I catch myself being like Yanez too. So it's supposed to be Yanez, like Yanez, because it has the Enya, has the accent over the end. But yeah, no, I catch myself like trying to be like, oh yeah, my bad. Like, oh shit, yeah, no, it's Yanez. But again, I'm around so many people, in the gym that are just so used to calling me Yanez that I'll accept it. But when it comes to like having to pronounce by everybody else, like in the UFC and all stuff, like yeah, it's like I want them to say Yanez.
Sure, yeah. So everyone in the chat that was shitting on me when I was doing the fight reaction, it's Yanez, okay? Everyone's like, no, you're saying it wrong. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, we got that cleared up. Well, I'm glad we're saying it correctly because that could be annoying, you know? Like, you know what your name's supposed to be, and people are supposed to say it right, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I kind of got tired of like, man, you know, like I see the like whenever I had my name spelled out like with the Enya, and then I talking to people like in UFC, like the people that work UFC Espanol, I'd kind of be talking with them and stuff, and I'd be like, yeah, no, my N's supposed to have an Enya, and they're like, really? Like, yeah. They're like, well, how come like you're not saying it? I was like, well, you know what? You're absolutely right. Like, why am I not having people saying it right? And I was like, they just pretty much were just like, yeah, no, you shouldn't conform. It's like let people say your name right. It's your name. Be proud of it. It's like, you know what, you're right. And I doubled down on it once I had my son. I was like, oh yeah, I want him to be able to be proud of his last name, know where his last name came from, and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, you know what, I want people to say it right now.
I don't blame you. And how old's the son now? Is he like 3?
2.5, man. You got close. You got real
Two and a
close,
half.
man. He's almost, yeah, he's almost 3 in December. Damn.
Wow. So and still just one, right?
Yeah, just one. Got another one on the way in October.
Hey, congrats. Boy or girl?
Yeah. Got a girl coming this way.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I'm a little excited. I was like, man, you know what, man? I was like, I'm like 60% want a girl, 40% want a boy. But as soon as I heard the result that it was a girl, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. But
That's awesome.
I got so excited.
Yeah, I was listening to a couple of the interviews earlier today, and I remember you saying something about, you definitely would like to have a girl, maybe soften you up a little bit. And I related so much because actually very similar. My first kid was a girl. It's actually reversed, and my son is my second. And when my daughter came, I was like, oh, fuck, now what do we do? Because I wanted a boy, right? And I tell you what, man, I'm the biggest mush now. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm crying during movies. It's like, what the fuck?
I feel that.
So do you think things are going to change now that you have a girl? Is she going to soften you up, or are you going to stay tough?
Man, I've softened up a lot since I had my son. Like, it used to be like beforehand, like when it came to training, I'm like, I would never understand like being like these guys would be like trying to take the time off to be with their kids and all that stuff. Like, man, well, you're trying to change their lives, right? Like, you got to be in the gym. They got to be in the gym. But then like now that I was like, man, I can completely understand why they took the time off, like to be with their gym, like to take time away from the gym to be with their family and all that stuff. Like, I understand. I started looking back and be like, man, I was a little bit rough, like trying to be a little bit of an asshole, telling people they weren't working hard enough. Now I'm just like, damn, I was an asshole. They're only little for a small amount of time. So yeah, my perspective has definitely softened a lot, and like really looking at things a lot differently. Because I used to be like more of a hard ass, be like, dude, why the fuck aren't you in the gym? Like, well, I was at my kid's recital. I was like, you got to sacrifice some shit. I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You shouldn't. Like, now I'm like, yeah, you know what? Go to your kid's recital, man. What is one day going to change and all that stuff, So it's definitely softened me up.
It's weird, right? Because you're chasing a dream that's pretty spectacular, right? You're chasing gold in the UFC, and you have to be focused. We had a gentleman on not too long ago saying that he actually doesn't even have his family show up during fight week, right? He literally separates everything and goes into savage mode and then becomes dad again. And then you have people like Dustin Poirier, who's bringing his daughter to the event in Newark, like cage side, to fight Islam, like, which sounds insane to me. So where is your mindset? Are you going to be dragging the family along for the ride, or are you going to be like, nah, stay home?
Man, nah. So these past couple fights, they stayed home. I did bring them with me to Miami, in the fight before in Austin, Texas. So, yeah, I did like the sense of this, especially this last one. I like the sense of just getting the time away. Just because it put this extra like, oh, like you're giving up just a little bit, like the sacrifice, the sacrifice part, like sacrificing time with them. And it also put me in the mindset of like, oh, like this guy is making me take time away from my family. I got to go fucking hurt this fucking guy. It kind of put me in that savage, like kind of kill mode and be like, you know what? I'm fucking getting after this guy. So, I don't know. If we go to somewhere else like Miami again, I am bringing my family. Mm-hmm. But if it's just another Vegas fight, hey, I'm sorry guys, y'all got to stay home. You've been to Vegas too many times already. Let me get in that mode. But again, like if it's a place where I'd be able to have like if we go to California, go like around like a place where like close to where Disneyland or Disney World, whichever one is called, I'd definitely go fight and bring them with me so we can go, hang out afterwards, so.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. It's a give or take.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the circumstance. That kind of makes sense over there. And now here you are coming off a big win against this guy, Salvador, okay? So now when they put this fight together, Well, I'm curious. I want to know what you were thinking, because it seemed to me, just as a fan, and when someone that like sees these matchups right off the bat, I say, okay, they're trying to do Adrian a solid here. They're putting him up against the guy that is not who he was fighting before, but at the same time, incredibly dangerous, right? You can't lose to this dude. So were you relieved that it was someone that's not like a big name, or was there more pressure now that, okay, I got to bounce back against this guy? I don't know what to expect.
Shit, man. If I'm being honest with you, I didn't know who I was fighting for. Like I was in Vegas, and like I was sitting, I was like right in the middle of a training session with Diego Lopez and all that stuff. And next thing you know, like my manager hits me up, like tells me, because he was there, like he was training with us, but he went off to the side and got on his phone and was just like, oh shit. He pulls inside, like, hey, got you a fight. And I was like, all right, cool, kept training. And 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh shit, like, hey, who am I fighting? They're like, oh, Vinicius Salvador. I was like, oh, okay, go back to training. I come back. I'm like, wait, who the fuck's that? Like, it literally, like, I'm just like I just started training. So like, I had no idea like who I was fighting for the first 10 minutes. So I just said yes. Like, it really didn't matter who. It was like, oh, so you got to fight. I was like, okay, cool, sign it, book it, let's go. And then I was like, all right, cool. And then 5 minutes later, again, like, it was just one of those weird things for me where I just went to train, got a fight, and then next I'm like oh shit, like, oh, it's Vinicius. And then I even had trouble like just like being like, well, who's that? And then that's when all the other information started coming in. Oh, he's a 25er, he fought these days, they fought these guys. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, like, I was honestly kind of hoping like someone close around the close into the top 15, so I wouldn't be shot too far back,
Yeah.
like, right, like, again, like, just because like I wanted to get myself back into like the position where I can fight guys who are in the top 15. So that shit took me out of whack. But I was like, you know what? Like, man, I just got to fight. It is what it is. Whoever I got in front of me is who I got in front of me. And yeah, like, the more I started looking at this, I was like, damn, like, this is the way I started looking at it. Like, when I looked at it at first, it was like a lose-lose situation for me. I was like, I got a 125er coming up to fight me at 135. He's 0-2, and I'm just like, especially it just like, to me, just looking at it, like, damn, like, I really got to be on point, because man, if I lose to this guy, like, I gotta have that serious talk with myself, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, it was a weird position for me to be in. I'm like, if I lose this guy, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I gotta have that talk with myself, and be like, well, man, you might start needing to look somewhere else. I need to start looking for somewhere else to go and all that shit. So for me, I was like, it put me in that extra mindset too, because like, if I lose this guy, it's really bad.
Yeah.
But if I win, it's not as bad. It's a win, but at the same time, it was like, he's just an awkward guy too, as well, to fight.
Yeah.
He was not going to be elusive. Again, like you said, like, he's not the guy that you're expecting, but again, he's like he's still dangerous. And that's how I looked at it. That's how I looked at it going into this fight. I knew he was going to be dangerous, and honestly, he was bigger than what I thought he was going to be. Like, I was like you said, 5'7". I was like, I think they lied on his paper. I think that kid, like, I think he's like 5'9" or some shit. So like, he was actually pretty tall, pretty big. And I was like, oh, now I see why I didn't make flyweight. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. And to those in the chat that don't know, so the fight went down in St. Louis. Okay, Adrian, of course, one of the hottest prospects out there, one of the best boxers in the UFC, and went on a 2-fight skid, and they put him against this guy, Vinicius Salvador. This guy fought in the Contender Series, and then had a 2-fight losing streak in the UFC. So this guy is like a feral animal, right? Like, so
yeah.
And they're throwing you against him. And like, as fans, we look at it, we're like, oh, this is probably a tune-up fight. You had an injury, you had this and that. But I don't think people realize how dangerous someone like this is that's scrapping to stay on the roster.
Oh yeah. No, he like, it was one of those things I was looking at. I was like, man, he's gonna come and fight his ass off.
Yeah.
And especially the way he like got in my face at weigh-ins, I was like, oh shit, like, he really is trying to like he wants to, like, I thought he was gonna bring it, like, be a lot more aggressive and like really try to solidify his spot in the UFC, especially like trying to make a statement coming out like again, he got me, I got him, like, he got me, which is a really big step up. And if he were to beat me, the only other guys that beat me in the UFC are top 15 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have put a big statement out for him to be at 135, clean slate for him. finishing me would have been like amazing, big things for him. So that's how I took it. It's like, man, he's taking this as serious as possible. He's like I was expecting like the absolute best version of him, and for me, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is kind of fucking this is the waters are murky right now, just because of the fact of like, again, it's not a good situation. It's not the perfect situation for me. It's not a good situation because if I beat him, I'm supposed to beat him. What if I lose to him? That's like, oh shit, like we gotta have this talk, my guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, oh, man. And how many fights do you have left on the UFC contract?
One more left on this contract.
Okay, so you at least you knew you had one more fight left. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
listen, you don't want to go on a 3-fight skid, right? That's not something that
yeah.
you were looking to do, and so you knew you had one left. So was there some sort of like, okay, hey, if the worst possible scenario happens here, I have one more shot at this, or you like this is do or die?
No, I figured it was kind of do or die because just in the sense of like they've cut people for less, you know. They've cut like the UFC has cut people for less, even though like my style, I kind of bring, uh, I bring it every single time I go in there. Well, as much as I can, uh, try to bring like a entertaining fight for whoever's watching, you know. So, for me, like I just put myself like in my head, there was no way, there was nothing, uh there was absolutely nothing that like I could have done. Like I thought in my head, it was in my head that like if I don't beat this guy, I'm cut.
Mm,
That's the way that my mindset was, and to put myself like I kind of put myself with my back against the wall. Even though I do have one more fight on my contract. I just knew the reality that again, like they've cut people for way worse. There's a guy that went 2-1 in the UFC, and like he won two, lost one, they cut him. Like so,
yeah.
like I know I'm in better graces than that guy was, but again, I wasn't gonna fuck around and find out. I was like, you know what, I gotta go out there and starch this guy.
Well, and that's what you did, right? You go in there. Dominic Cruz gave great advice. He said that you shouldn't use your power, and you said, "Fuck him." You did. You knocked. I was looking at the rankings before you came on. I was like, all right, let's see. How is he going to get back into the rankings here? I'm like, oh, I got it. Dominic Cruz. You should pay back, motherfucker. Like when you heard him say that in the commentary. And for those that don't know, it's the funniest clip ever, man. It's all over Twitter and everything like that, where Dominic Cruz is like giving advice, and then all of a sudden you knock this fucking dude out. But what'd you think when you heard that afterwards? Were you laughing or?
Yeah, I was kind of laughing. I was like, man, this is absolute perfect timing. He's like, Giannis should stop loading up and go, like, stop going for it and set it up with like take a bit off and start throwing some technical punches and all that stuff. And next, boom, right after, I was like, I started laughing, just laughing. I'm like, you know what, it is what it is. Like it was just one of those things. I couldn't hear him in the moment,
Mhm.
like I've heard like others in the past, but uh like after just hearing it on the broadcast afterwards, I was like, "Oh shit, that's kind of funny." That was a great clip. That was absolutely a great clip, and I know millions took it and ran with it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's so fitting. You know what it is? It's like at the end of the day, like these guys, like Dominic's a very knowledgeable guy, right? And technically he's still on the roster. He's a ranked guy, whatever, former champion. But at the end of the day, it's a guessing game almost, right? You're not in there. Like even if you've been in there, I mean, you're in the moment. You're kind of like in the fire. So I sometimes I guess you got to go on autopilot or whatever. But did you hear your corner that were they saying, hey, put the pressure on? I know it was a little crazy. It was a little nuts. Was there a time where you're like, oh shit, not again during the fight, or like what was going through your mind as the fight was going on?
Oh no, man! Like, well, I will say that like, uh, Dominic Cruz, his advice would have been 100% sound.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't throw that that right hand, it would have been perfect advice because again, that was a part of the game plan, to set those shots up.
Okay.
But for some reason, whenever I stepped in that cage, like it was just weird. It was this weird feeling and a weird switch. Everything that I game plan, like I only stuck to one like thing that we've drilled, and that was the game plan. That was the like setting up that overhand right and making sure that I put the right step forward into it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else kind of just went out the fucking window. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like it just went like everything that we worked on just fucking just left the chat. And I'm like, all right. Like I walked in there and I see like his energy was not the same as it was at weigh-ins. Like weigh-ins day, he looked fearless. Like he was in my face, like looking me dead in my eyes, and I'm like, all right, cool, this is about to be a fight. And then as soon as we stepped in that cage, like I noticed like uh a different like vibe shift from him, and it was just more like he was like super nervous, felt like he was terrified, and I'm just in there just like ready on kill mode, and that was like, oh, I'm gunning after him. That's why I took the center immediately and just like was like trying to push him back, and the more the fight went on and the more I saw how fast he was, I was like, okay, I can catch him. And like the right hands I was throwing were just like were missing by a little bit, and the only thing was like the drills, like everything that we did setting up to coming up to fighting Salvador was like, all right, cool. Like he likes to be very elusive, but his feet, like honestly, I took a game plan out of the Font fight against me that I used on Salvador.
Wow.
I would get away so much from my base, especially in that Font fight, that I pretty much treated him as me, like an Font.
Wow.
Because
That's
his
crazy.
head got away from his base. Like his head would get away from his base, like, and he would kind of leave himself like very flat footed. And again, like his head started passing his legs, started passing. So I knew that if I just took that extra step in, it wasn't the collar tie to the right hand. It was more like I'm stepping in because like for the collar tie for me on the slip, whenever I fought Font, it was like, all right, cool. I know where his head's at. Boom. He hit me with that uppercut hook, put me out. I took the other approach of like, oh, he's leaning back. Let me take this step in so I can get extra reach in, and especially since he took that side cut kick, I knew that he wasn't going to be putting himself like in a step back position. He just wanted to lean back because he was going to try to do it athletically. And I was like, that was my chance. As soon as I felt that kick touch, I'm letting like kick touch. Hand was out there measuring, left hand was out there measuring with like a small little hook, and I threw that overhand with a little step in and was able to tag him and finish him. But yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird because again, the only part of the game plan that I really executed was just trying to set up that overhand.
Yeah.
But we had game plan to be like, all right, cool, we're gonna go leg, we're gonna go body, head low, and like we had so many different attacks. But I was so hell bent, like once I noticed the tone shift, that like, oh, I'm gonna land this right hand and I'm gonna put him to sleep. Like everything else that just went out the window.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It really is interesting to hear you explain, the game plan and then what happened, in battle. And the feeling of victory when you could just see the emotion as you strut around. Like, what was the first thing you thought when you got broken up over there? And did you think it was a late stop or anything like that, or like what was going on?
So man, I just kept punching, and I like it felt like forever.
Yeah.
It really felt like forever in that moment, and I was like, okay, keep punching, because I'm not gonna let up. Like my whole thing was if he didn't stop it, like I was gonna go until like the end of the round. That was like my like in that moment where my head was at. But once I heard like because he did, like I will say that Vinicius did move in a certain position that made me have to readjust, and it stopped me from punching for a split second.
Okay.
So it ended up making me switch up, and then right after that, like I really just said, fuck it, like I'm gonna go after it, like it would nonstop. And then out of nowhere I hear Chris Taglioni start saying fight back, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I switched my hips in a position where I could really load up on my left hand, and right after that I get pulled off. So it was like I felt like it could have been stopped earlier, but with the optics of how he was able to like do small little things to like make me stop punching for like maybe a split second or two, make it kind of look like he was defending just a little bit, it was like I understood. But right after he pulled me off, like I was still like, it took me a second to kind of snap out of it because I was like, bro, I'm about to, like in my head, like I had no intentions of stopping until the ref pulled me off, and then pulled me off. I get up and I'm just still like trying to like, for a second I kind of was forgetting where I was at, and I was like, oh shit. And then right after I look, I was like, oh shit, I'm here. So,
is it weird? Is it like a Jekyll and Hyde moment where it's just like, okay, I'm not the fighter anymore, I'm Adrian again? Like, do you feel like that? Do you feel like two different personalities?
Oh, for sure. For that specific moment, that's what it was. Like that's what it was. It took me a second. Like I think you can actually see it whenever I'm walking off in like the actual like where it shows on ESPN, like where I'm walking, and I do like a turn and I see the like a commission lady or the doctor come and check me up, and I'm just all smiles right after that. Like, and I was like, oh, and then everything starts settling in, and I see Salvador still laying on the ground, and I'm just like, oh, damn, this is a little bit more serious. Like, yeah, like right here on this turn, I was like, oh, I see her, and I smile.
Yeah, it must have been some feeling, right? Holy
Yeah, no,
cow.
it was absolutely like a weird moment for me because I was like, I hadn't felt that in a very long time. I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit, like it just everything just snapped. It's like, oh fuck.
Isn't it crazy, right? How time flies, right? I was looking, there was a 2-year gap since the win, right? But before that, you were the guy, like you were the boogeyman, and at bantamweight, and by the way, you still are, right? I mean, you're clearly you're still there. In fact, maybe these losses probably helped in some sort of way, tighten things up. I don't know, mistakes that maybe that you've made before. I don't know, but I mean, you're still a young man, right? 30 years old now. Yeah, you're still only 30. So, do you feel like you're approaching your prime? You're in your prime?
I feel like I'm starting to approach it, especially with the mindset that I have on right now. Like, man, like I'm excited. Like I'm really excited. Like I'm kind of forcing myself to take the week off
Mm-hmm.
this week because I wanted to be back at the gym yesterday. Like actually not yesterday, Monday. But yeah, no, I just ended up just taking like forcing myself to stay out because again, I would have went back to sparring on Monday, would have been
Wow.
good. Like I wanted to, but at the same time, I knew that I needed the pull back a little bit. Man, I'm excited, ready to go again. But I was like, I got to make sure I'm good first, make sure the family's good first, and then I can start going back to training, sharpening up the tools. And again, I even have my coach telling me like right now, like, hey man, let's not try to stay out the gym for too long. Let's get back to it. And I'm like, all right, cool. As long as we're all on the same page, I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but yeah, like no, again, I where I'm at right now, I'm really excited to see who I get next, how I'm gonna approach that fight. And I honestly like I can't wait to start the film study all over again.
Mhm.
Like I really can't wait. That got it really exciting for me just because of the fact that like I'm getting to try to solve the puzzle,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah. And chat, let me know who you think Adrian should fight next. I want you to play matchmaker in the chat right now. Spam the chat who you think he should fight next. I say Dominic Cruz. I don't know if he's there. He's in the rankings. I'm just saying. Payback's a bitch. But I did notice, yeah, so you said you were taking some time off, but then you come back home and you helped out with what was going on with this it's a storm that hit, right? In Houston. What happened here? If you could explain what was going on.
Oh
And by the
yeah,
way, is
so
that Kimbo Slice? Who is this over here?
oh no, that's Trey the Truth, man. That he's a Houston rapper, legend of
Oh,
the city, man.
hell yeah.
He got his own day. I think it's in June. It's called Trey Day.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, he's very active in the community. Came from the streets of Houston, rapped, and then he built his name off of rap, and then used his platform on rap to help start building the community back up. Like, we're in a lot of like neighborhoods where a lot of these places don't want to go to
Yeah.
to go give help. So the biggest thing I've heard people say every single time we went to another house or another place to go clear out the trees was like, man, they forgot about us, man. Like nobody ever comes over here, man. Nobody ever uh
Wow.
like they forget, and he's been doing a lot of great things. Like that was actually not even his, like, whenever I got to him, already on his second or third house
Really?
from there. And he had also he was going to apartment complex that didn't have electricity, and he was handing out like meals, like I think like 200 plus meals at each place he had went. So he was
That's
like
awesome.
consistently just like helping guys out, helping families out that are in need. Like, yeah, like a big storm happened, like especially on my side of town. I'm blessed that like everything was good on my side of town. We still hit like a really bad storm, 100 miles per hour winds and everything. But downtown and like like the north side of Houston got hit really bad. I think there's even a tornado that happened as well too. So there's actually parts of downtown where the streets are blocked off because they're afraid of glass falling from these tall skyscraper buildings. Like they're still worried about a lot in downtown. But yeah, we're clearing out trees, like making sure that, like, trying to clean up the trees that fell on houses, on cars. Yeah, like there's just a lot of these people didn't even have power. So we went out there and just did our best to try to clean up as much as possible, try to make it easier for the homeowners as well. But then there's also some trees that were just too damn big, man. There was
Right.
actually like a tree that was like that fucking just took up the whole entire the whole entire street. And it was like pretty much it looked like a dead end. I probably won't be able to really do it any justice, but there was a yeah, you can't really tell. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell. I could probably try to, but there's like that is not a dead end right there. That's an
Okay.
actual, and like a little forest kind of going on.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I can
yeah,
see it.
like that's that was blocked off. Those are all like nothing but like a big ass tree that fell, and it pretty much looks like it's a dead end, but it's not. It's there's so much
Wow.
more trees behind that as well too.
You
So
ever? I mean, by the way, that's freaking awesome that you went over there and did that after this fight and everything like that. Gave back to the community, and man, I hope everything gets cleared up quickly. I've been through one bad hurricane, Sandy in New York, and I remember saying I got to get the hell out of here. I was like, damn. Do you ever think that? Like, I mean, it's like a yearly thing. You never know where the hurricanes are gonna hit and this and that. Do you ever think about that? Like, maybe I got to pick up the family and move, or you're like, hey, I'm staying.
yeah, it's a bit of both. Like, especially now with the second one on the way, I start thinking like, man, like what, like, man, like there's gonna be times where, like, especially like times like, again, like Harvey. For me, at that time, I wasn't able to vol the way I did like this past time. Just because, like, most of my shit was flooded too, along with everybody else. So I was having to make sure home was good before I could help anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that kind of took it a little bit out the way for me to give out a helping hand. But times before, I was too young to even like do any of the stuff.
Yeah.
Like Katrina, Rita, Hurricane Ike, uh all these big storms that Houston got. Like, it's like, again, like, luckily I had my dad that would kind of make the decision for us. And now I'm just like, you know what, man, at any given moment, like, there's gonna be times where we're gonna have to up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
And getting up and leaving, I remember having these like I have memories of us just sitting in like 10-hour traffic, and not only like maybe moving like about a couple miles. Because I remember when Hurricane Katrina or Rita, one of the two, where like the evacuation was so bad that like people were dying of dehydration on the actual roads,
Wow.
trying just to evacuate. That's how bad it was. So like now for me, I'm like, you know what, man, like I might not want to deal with that. And
Yeah.
but also at the same time, for me, I'm just like, man, this is home. Like, I love it here. Like, like there's not too many, like, of course there's bad storms, but I'm like, it's like, man, I'm good. Like, I know exactly what routes I need to take. I know where I can go. At the end of the day, like, I know I can always fly out fly out to Vegas. I have connects over there that would be able to help me out over there. So uh and just bringing my family with me. So I don't know, like, there's a little bit more options that I have now. So for
Yeah.
me, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of up and move, or if I need to evacuate, I can evacuate. But yeah, it's a kind of like, yeah, maybe I should know, but home's cool. I love it here. Like, everything's here, family's here. But yeah, it'd be hard for me to uproot and leave.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, I don't have to worry about hurricanes.
I tell you, man. Like I said, I mean, actually remember Katrina hit New York a little bit too, and but not as bad as you guys, or what was it in New Orleans, right?
hmm
But it was, yeah, I mean, just seeing how Sandy was when the National Guard came in and stuff and the tanks were rolling, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't, I was like, I'm out of here. I just fled to Arizona. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And watch it. We'll have a fucking fire or some shit. Let me knock on wood. You never know. You're never safe, right? You never know where the hell to go. But, that's actually pretty cool, man, because when you have family and friends and you lived your whole life in one place, it's really tough to leave that. That's so important, right?
Oh yeah. No, 100%. Like I got friends that kind of keep me at a level head, you know, they still call me a piece of shit. Don't let me get too high on my horse. You know, they're just like, you're still a piece of shit to us. Like, all right, well, you know what? You're right. I am a piece of shit.
Do you I mean, anytime I hear you interviewed, you seem like the nicest guy in the world until you get locked in a cage with someone, and then it's all, you know, everything goes crazy. But I did hear, I think it was in Marcus Deegan's interview where, you know, you did mention like you have your main training partner. I don't know if you still have the same guy. What is his name, by the way? I forgot his name.
Oh yeah, Cameron Smotherman.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's been my main training partner. Like, he came to the gym in 2018. It kind of took a little bit of time for us to even just like kind of like start meshing a little bit, you know, because immediately like when he got to the gym, there was like a little bit like there was like kind of a separation because he hadn't even had his first amateur fight yet. But after his first amateur fight, I remember seeing him and I cornered him for his fight. I remember seeing that and seeing him be like, oh shit, like. I thought it was going to be completely like I thought that relationship would be completely different because I remember when he got his fight booked, I just remember being like I was like, how can I say it? Oh, this guy's kind of a bitch. Because like the way that he had accepted the fight, like because like it was crazy because he gets the fight, they give him the tickets for the fight, and he's just like. He literally spent 30 minutes being like, oh my God, I got to fight. Oh my God, I got to fight. Like terrified. Like, oh my God, this is actually happening. Like felt like he sounded terrified. And I'm like the whole 30 minutes, I'm just like, hey bro, like you can chill out, bro. Like it's not right now. It's later. Like it's later. Like you don't have to start freaking out now. Like, and he was on level 10 the whole entire 30-40 minutes that he was like going on a rant. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave this guy the fuck alone right now. But then he gets in the fight and it was not that guy. It was not that same guy. It was I just remember just being like, after the fight, just being like I looked at my coach and I was like, I like him. I like this. I like how he fights. Like, exactly the way I like to watch fights. The guy, didn't want to get taken down. And he got taken out. He got back up and like just ended up just beating the brakes off the kid and, you know, stopped him. So like I remember seeing that fight and just being like, you know, I like this kid's spunk.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys have a good. It seems like you have a real tight relationship, and it seems like you guys keep each other in check. Is
100%?
Do you think he's going to be hitting the Contender Series or anything like that, or?
Honestly, at this point in time, I think he might get the short notice call.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like he's good for it. Like I really do think I think he should skip the contenders and go straight into the UFC. Like he's training, he's already back in the gym, like a really tough fight in his last fight, and then he had a flying knee knockout in his in the fight before against the Ultimate Fighter veteran and a Contender Series vet and Mondo Gutierrez. You know, I feel like he's ready to take that next step up and next level up. So awesome. Man, I really think he should be signed right now. So that'd be cool to fight in the same card. And we never have fought in the same card ever.
Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be really sick, yeah. Especially with the backstory. Yeah, if you missed it, check out Marcus Deegan's interview. Both of them were on there, and I was listening at the gym. It was a good interview. I like Marcus a lot, so love to give him a shout out. Yeah, check that out if you want to know more about your partner in crime at the gym. And the Sphere. I mean, the way that thing, people are talking about it, and they're saying that's UFC 306. And then I heard today Conor McGregor was talking about, I want to headline that. Like, and I guess if he comes out unscathed against Michael Chandler, it's not impossible. Like, I could see them throwing maybe Diaz 3, you know, at the headlining the Sphere. I could even see them doing, like, I don't know, some stupid El Kakui shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could just throw him a layup. You know what I'm saying, Adrian? But anyway, regardless, they're probably going to do something very special. They say it's going to be a one-off at the Sphere, and it works out kind of in a way that it might work out great for you, right? September, are you looking to get in earlier than that, or is that around the time you're looking to get back?
Oh no, I specifically pulled my manager to the side and I was like, hey, look, like if we can get the Sphere and lock it in now, like that's what I would want. Like please, like I know it's a far-fetched idea for me to be on that card, but I do not mind. I want, that's what I want. If I can get that card, I'll absolutely take it. Like just because like it's a spectacular event. A dream of mine was to be able to compete on a pay-per-view card, like a massive pay-per-view card. Like it would have been cool to compete on UFC 300,
Mm-hmm.
but just because of injuries and all that stuff, like I missed on that. Like I've missed on like opportunities like for the UFC, like Houston and all that stuff. Like, I just want my like a good big special moment. I had a special moment in Miami, but I want one where I'm coming out the victor, So I think the Sphere would be a perfect place for me to do that. So yeah, like that work, and that also that kind of works perfectly for the timeline that I have as well too, just because like I had like babies due in October, fight September, take that time off to make sure like there's no complications there. I'm good. Like, coming off a big fight, big win, be able to kind of, relax and, just worry about who I need to worry about at that time. And I think that'd be perfect. That's like perfect timing for me. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like I know how it's gonna be a long shot for me, but I'm hoping like I can get a spot on there.
Yeah. Well, let's get the ball rolling. I'm telling you right now, would you fight Dominic Cruz?
Yeah, especially at the Sphere. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's Mexican Independence Day, for God's sakes. Adrian Yanez versus Dominic Cruz. Should that not be on the Sphere? Does that not make sense? I feel like no matter where they place you on the card, it would be interesting. The matchup is interesting, and go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, that would be interesting as well too. Like the matchup would be interesting. Like again, like going down and breaking down, like again, film studying on Dominic would be amazing. Man, again, like I wouldn't even care if I was the first fight on the card. I think that would be the actual like best spot because again, you're gonna be the first person fighting in the Sphere. Depending on how everything goes in that, like you're gonna be the first one to experience that. Like again, like I don't know how they would be showing the fights on there. Like again, like let's just say we're fighting and then you look around and there's like so many yous, or if it's just gonna be one big like you and like me. Like if it was me and Dom, it'd be like me and Dom like fighting like in this big ass thing, or like so many small versions of us like going around. Like I think that would be a pretty dope experience, So for me, that would be super cool to get a fight, just to be able to get a fight in the Sphere like that. That would be dope. Again, I wouldn't even care if I was the first fight. I wouldn't care if I was the second fight, third fight. I would just want to fight there.
Yeah, I haven't been in the Sphere. Have you been in there yet? Have you checked it out for yourself?
Oh no, I've only seen videos of like people of inside and outside and all that stuff. I've been outside. I've seen the outside, but inside, haven't. Like
Yeah.
I want to as well too. I think that'd be a pretty dope experience because I think I seen on Instagram where like there was like a concert going on. It just looked like fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I was like, man, that would be something to experience.
For those that don't know, the Sphere is like, I don't know, it's like an out of this world, I'll show it over here, thing that they just dropped in Vegas. And inside this globe that basically they could put anything on this globe. Inside like is it's like a giant screen. And here, UFC 306, it says right over here. There's a giant screen, and that would be something else. And the first thing I thought about was yeah, it should be the fighters. Because a lot of times, if you have seats that aren't the best, you find yourself watching the Jumbotron anyway. Could you fucking imagine just giant you and whoever just going at it? Would that be distracting, though? Like, you're fighting and there's your fucking big body on a screen?
Oh, yeah. That would be really distracting. But also on the flip side, I knock somebody out. Man, you get to see a big version of you knocking somebody out.
That's crazy.
Like, that would be really dope. I would really love that experience.
Yeah, that would be something else. All right, chat. Let me know in the chat. Do you think Adrian Yanez should be on UFC 306, the Sphere? Could you imagine the ticket prices to that? They're already talking about Conor McGregor, $12,000 tickets against Chandler. The Sphere which they're saying is probably going to be a one-off, which I don't believe. Do you believe that?
Man, from what I hear, like I hear that it would be expensive to really run everything at the Sphere. So if I'm going off of what like I've heard, then maybe.
Mhm.
But if everything just kind of blows out the water, with ticket sales and pay-per-view buys and everything, just because of the magnitude of what that pay-per-view is going to be, I could possibly see them doing it again. It just depends on how everything sells at that point. That's the
Yeah.
way I would look at it. But if they lose money, it is going to be what it's going to be. I don't think we'll do that again. So there's also the mistake for me as well too. Like I thought I can be one of the fighters to be like, oh man, I fought at the Sphere and they never did that again.
Mhm.
That's also another mistake for me that would be like, you know what, that'd be dope if I fought, be able to say that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I tell you what, if that is the case, if it's the cost to run something there, then it seems like a McGregor personality does have to be headlining something like that. And my goodness, could you imagine you're on this card, Conor McGregor's the headline, the fucking
Man,
yeah, that'd be crazy. You
Oh,
haven't
man.
have you been on a Conor? What was the biggest pay-per-view that you were on?
It was Adesanya versus Pereira 2.
Oh, okay.
I was on that one. I got a good spot on the card. I got a good spot on the card. Not the result I wanted, but yeah, it was still pretty just a dope experience. Being able to like again, that's also like a memorable moment for me, even though it wasn't like it wasn't the it wasn't the result I wanted. I was able to be on the first card that they brought back to Miami, and I was like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Like after 20 years, they finally come back to Miami, and I get on that Miami card, bro. That was amazing. So,
Yeah.
for me, that would like I would love to get on another card like the UFC 306. That'd be pretty dope.
My God, the way the UFC's ending this year, there's gonna be so many big cards. So even if this doesn't work out, I mean, there's so many monster things that they're putting together. So I'm sure they'll have something good for you. But man, I hope you're on the Sphere. I really do. I'm rooting for you, man. So if there was someone to call out, like right now, is there someone that you're like, you know what, that would be perfect? Would there be any specific fighter that you would like to call out?
Honestly, I don't really have any like opponents that I like that like I'm like, oh yeah, I want to fight that fucking guy. Honestly, it's just more of like these guys that have called me out already. Like I would like to fight those guys. Like I'm not gonna say John Castaneda because he has a fight coming up, and I feel like it's bit shit to call somebody out when they have a fight or when they're injured. Which they Johns did, so fuck that guy. But Daniel Santos has called me out. Him and his girl been tagging me on Instagram posts, like being like, "We're ready for you. Like, we're ready for you, Adrian." I'm like, all right, like, don't do that.
His
Bro,
girlfriend?
just gonna, yeah, him and his wife or whatever, tagged me and like, oh, we're ready, we're waiting and all that shit. I'm like, all right, cool, like, cool, that's fine. Y'all gonna wait, So for me, I would like to get that fight at the Sphere. I think that'd be pretty dope. Or man, like just because like if I'm looking from a fan's perspective, like Victor Henry is like I like his
Mm.
boxing. I think me versus him, like would be a really fun fight. But again, like these are guys who are outside the top 15. If I can eke somebody in the top 15, like weasel my way and get somebody in the top 15, I'll 100% do that. 100%. So to me, it is what it is. If I had the choice, I'd fight either Daniel Santos or Victor Henry. But if I could fight somebody in the top 15, I 100% would try my best. If I can weasel my way in, I
Yeah.
just don't, at this point, it's just like whoever they offer me at this point.
What's your thoughts on that Peyton Talbot kid, the dude with the whole tattoo in his chest? That guy seems like he's from another planet, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, no, he's fucking solid. I was really impressed, especially Cameron Simon. He's a pretty fucking solid guy. Overall MMA game is pretty solid. He
Yeah.
had a war with Christian Rodriguez, and then after that, you have him fighting Talbot, and Talbot just kind of just ran through him. I got respect for Cameron. The way that he just did it, he did it so smooth. I was just looking. I was like, damn, like he's gonna be a problem, man. He's young. I hope they build him. Like I hope he doesn't jump off in the deep end immediately. Like I hope he kind of takes it a fight at a time and just keeps fighting. Because again, like by the time, like let's just say he like 3 years down the road from now, and he's gotten every right fight on the way up, that kid's gonna be a super problem, man. And I honestly, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see that kid. He's super athletic. He has good technique and he has really great vision. You
Mhm.
know, I think all those three, all those three put together is makes for a dangerous guy. And Talbot, man, he's a fucking dangerous. Like he's dangerous, man. Especially his first two fights in the UFC, especially this last one against Cameron Simon. He put a whooping on Simon.
I was surprised that they put two young prospects like that together like that. I was like, man, I thought, the stars wouldn't line up, and it was fantastic to watch. The thing that really weirded me out was how calm he seemed as a young man. Like it's just like, is that
Yeah.
terrifying to see someone like that? Like, I mean, just so calm out there like that.
Yeah, you know what? Like he's crazy. Like I don't know. He just might have that little mental like serial killer mental block, where he walks in there. He's like, I'm gonna kill somebody today. Okay, I'm just gonna go kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like. That's why I feel like he like what he is, like how he is, man. I respect it. If that's the type of fighter he is, yeah, like I love that. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, man, that guy's gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be an absolute problem, especially if he has that mindset where he just wants to get better and like just fuck somebody up. Like I fuck with it.
Yeah, he's got the nail polish. He goes pole dancing with his sister on the side. I'm like, what the fuck is up with this guy? And then he's just totally chill in there in just a complete war. And he's just like, yeah, that sucked. I'm gonna finish this guy now. Like it's just really weird to watch. Man, bantamweight. I still think bantamweight is the division. Like that, it's nuts, man. Even with Aljo leaving, it's still ridiculous. Like it's crazy that weight class. Do you say to yourself, what am I doing in this weight class? How did I get stuck in this one?
No, man. Honestly, I never really think about it. Honestly, like once I start looking at rankings and like on the outside, like and people start asking me like, who's in your division? I'd be like, oh yeah, like, yeah, we got Umar, we got Corey, we got Cheeto, and then start running down. I'm like, oh fuck, all these guys are fucking top 15. Holy shit! And then I start looking. I'm like, oh fuck, Jose Aldo just came back. Oh, like what the fuck is going on here? Like what the fuck? Like, I'm just like, how much do I weigh right now? Like, is 25 an option? What's going on here? Fuck.
Do you ever think that?
Like-
I mean, now you're coming off a win, so you don't have to think about that now. But do you ever say, well, that's the backup plan? God forbid anything falls apart, or are you like, nah, I'm bantamweight?
Man, if I were to do anything, I'd probably have to move up.
Okay.
Like flyweight is like, would be really hard for me. Like there was one point in time whenever I was working a day job where I would like, again, like I was on the regional scene. So sometimes I'd be be walking around 45, 46 where like 25 was probably an option back then.
Mhm.
But now where I'm at, like, man, let me just say it like this. Like I was in Vegas, helping Diego Lopez, get ready for his fight against Sadiq. I was in the sauna sitting with a lot of fighters. Kamaru Usman walks in and he asked me what weight class I fought at, and I was like bantamweight, and he's like, "Oh shit, I thought you were an out of camp 45er," and I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "God," I was like, "Man, this is fucking crazy. Like, what the fuck?" And then Aljo the whole entire time was there, just being like, "Bro, come join me, bro. Come join me at 45, bro. Like, you're big." I'm like, stop. Like, I'm a 35er, bro. Like, I did have a tougher weight cut this time around. I was cutting from like an extreme amount. Like I was like cutting from 60, like 2 weeks out, like 2.5 weeks out, I was at 60. I had trouble getting into the 50s, but yeah. But yeah, I am a bigger 35er.
Okay.
Like weight wise.
Yeah. By the way, Diego Lopez, my goodness, that's another one. It's another natural, like, I mean, so he's out of your gym as well?
No, he's out of Lobo gym and his
Okay.
gym in Puebla called Brazilian Warrior Central.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I train with them. Like I got real cool with them. I got cool with them back whenever I fought Randy Costa before he was in the UFC. And the relationship kind of just grew. And then I forget which fight it was, but he was telling me that his coach wanted to work with me as well too. And after, like, I think it was after like the font fight and all that stuff. But yeah, we were just cool. Every time we saw each other, it was just nothing but like cool friends. Like we're friends and all that stuff. And
Awesome.
then again, I saw most of his fights in Fury whenever he came out to fight. And then also like he had a couple guys fighting in Fury not too long ago. I let them use the gym. Like I invited them out to the gym that they could use the sauna and cut weight and all that stuff. And it just kind of just like once that came around, he was like, "Hey man, like you want to come out and help me?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck it. Like I'm down."
Awesome.
Like I'm down. We're supposed to go to Mexico, but we ended up going to Vegas. Everything changed. Went because a lot of people don't know this, but he actually injured himself pretty bad where he was doing rehab for like the first 3 weeks of his camp.
What? The Sadiq camp?
Yeah. Yeah, for the Sadiq fight. Yeah, for the UFC 300.
Wow, man. I like Sadiq a lot, but I when they made that fight, I was like, oh fuck, man, because I like both of those guys. It's like two super cool, like fun guys to root for. But Diego, man, that guy, he seems like he's a wrecking ball right now. I mean, everything's working for him. He's phenomenal, huh?
Oh yeah, man, he's so fucking good. Like his jiu-jitsu, a lot of people really like they got no only glimpses of it.
Mm-hmm.
But his jiu-jitsu is really solid, really, really good. His boxing is underrated. Uh, he has power in his hands, man. Like I'm telling you, like he's really solid. He just like I again, like I tell people this all the time. If people actually saw his story and like they wouldn't believe you. They like I'm a the UFC didn't want him at first.
Huh.
He was a short notice replacement on the Contender Series.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Got his shot. He lost, unfortunately, and then he fights in Texas for Fury. And I remember watching that fight and thinking he got robbed. So he's going back. He's going back to back losses. One on the Contenders, one on one for the title fight in Fury, and then after that, he gets two dominant wins. I think three dominant wins, and then the week of the fight for that most like he took that fight on 5 days notice and made weight on 5 days notice fighting Mozar. And I don't even think he was in the United States. I think he was in Mexico, and he flew into San Diego, and I think he got in on Wednesday over there. Like, yeah, it was just a whole shit show. I just remember that whole time just like seeing how everything had kind of played out, and then for him to have a fight that he had, like a fight of the night, like with Elevov, man, that was amazing.
Yeah, man, oh man, that's pretty neat hearing that insight on him, man. Because like it seems like he came out of nowhere, and I do remember, yeah, he had a little bit of a skid, but he was just so much fun, even in a loss. Like he's so much fun to watch fight. Like I could watch that guy fight all the time. Like, do you feel that pressure when you're competing? Like I have to put on a show, or you're like I just got to win? Like what do you think?
No, I don't really think show. I think just the way I fight puts on a show.
Okay.
I would if it wasn't for people watching, like for fighters wanting to go in and try to see footage of me training, I would probably put my sparring sessions on Twitch. I would put my sparring sessions on Twitch, especially like again, like I like getting after it. It's fun, it's definitely fun. So for me, it's like one of those things that I'm like, you know what, man, I would do that, but I know people are going to try to go in and try to break down how I fight and all that stuff. And, putting everything on Twitch wouldn't be the greatest idea.
Yeah, boy, I would definitely watch that. I mean, I got to be honest, like you are one of the most exciting guys on the roster, like, I mean, when you go out there, we know, all right, you're going to fucking knock someone's head off. Like that's the plan. And I love that. I love that about watching you. I was a little worried in the last one because I was like, holy shit, man, I don't want anything to happen to this guy. and then, I mean, seeing the look of relief and the way you put this man down, I was like, fuck yeah, man. And during the Tyson Fury thing, like, how dare they put you up against the Tyson Fury and Usyk fight? I know you're a big boxing fan. Were you shocked by that?
Man, I was really shocked. I had like so zoned in that like that was just an afterthought. Once I heard about it, I was in the press conference, like in the post fight, I guess where they do all that, like not the press conference, but like the presser right after the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I was there, and then they told me what happened. I'm like, wait, Usyk just won. I was like, I caught that in real time. Like, they're like, hey, like like, did you just see that Fury just lost, Usyk just won? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, oh shit. And my training partner is a really big, like, he's also like me, like he loves watching boxing as well too. So Cameron Smotherman, he was there with me. I let him know, and he was like I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm yelling it in the microphone, like, bro, did you just, dude, Usyk won, bro. He won. He's like, no fucking way. And we just started going back and forth in the thing, and then next thing you know, he's like, oh shit, he did. Like, yeah. So I find that very wild, man. He's definitely top 3 in the world, like pound for pound. So it's like, for me, there's like not too many people who are up there. I think it's like Usyk, Terrence Crawford, and anyway. So, and you can argue what order they're placed in. So for me, I'm just like, I don't know. We can argue, but I'm not gonna argue and be like, oh no, I don't think anyways one or like that. I'll be like, nah, I can see your argument either way.
Yeah. All right. Well, Adrian, listen, we got a couple of alerts here, and we got a fucking full green room of people that want to talk to you. You excited to talk to these mongoloids in my chat, or?
You know what? Hopefully nobody didn't put me in their parlays that time. All right, guys.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I know those fucking parlay people. Enough's enough with these people, right? Where they slide into your DMs and they're harassing you about this shit.
A lot of them do. They'll be like, they'll just be talking mad shit, being like, man, you lost me, you owe me money, fuck you, and all this, and like, you fucking suck. And I'm just like, dude, fuck you. That was you. That's on you for betting, motherfucker. You know,
give
like,
me my $2 back that we spent on our fucking 18 leg parlay or whatever. You know, it's ridiculous.
Oh, you feel like shit? I get half my paycheck, motherfucker. I was like, I'll make like whatever you put down in betting, probably times that by 100. You know, and I'm fucking that much down, bitch. Like,
people are really ridiculous. It's nuts. Okay, let's play this alert over here. This is from Ross.
Super chat.
Coming in with a super duper chat. Thank you, Ross. Oh, I'm flying.
Yanez. Respect.
Oh, they're saying respect.
Hey, respect. Thank you so much, man. Hey.
There you go. So that's nice. Nice. Thank you so much, Ross, for the donation over here. And we got another one before we get into the phone lines. I dropped the link in the chat if you want to call. Quick questions for Adrian Yanez. You don't get many opportunities to talk to a superstar like this over here. So get your questions in.
CBD.
Oh, we got some CBD coming in.
CBD.
The great Nate Diaz.
CBD.
Woo!
CBD.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Congratulations on the win. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
It helps with
That's our Nate Diaz dono.
information and stuff like that. So you want to
I forget that he did that.
Yeah, he loves that CBD. Here's Chris Cushman.
Congratulations on the win.
There we go. So he's
There we go.
congratulating.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, they were hyped, man. When you said yes, they were very hyped to talk to you. So here we go. I'm going to open up the phone lines over here. We dropped the link in the chat. Let me just set this up so it's not completely ridiculous. Of course, you're going to be able to see the people, Adrian, but the community won't, because I just don't trust. You know what I'm saying, Adrian? I don't trust these fucking people. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. All right, so yeah, you'll be seeing it, but they won't. Okay, all right, ready? Here we go. This is the first person. This person's been waiting on hold for the entire interview. And by the way, Adrian, thank you so much for taking time out. This is Sonosi. Sonosi, welcome to the stream.
Adrian! Sorry, I had to do it.
Nah, trust me. I figured that was going to be one of the first ones.
Yeah, he's all right. We got Sonosi.
All right, so I have a funny question I've never had to ask. If there was one way you can KO somebody, just free pass of any way, like a video game, you just had to able to do it, what would you choose?
Wait, a free pass to KO anybody?
Anybody in the ring, any way you could. Because, you know, you can't, it's opportunities, it's chin, all that other shit. If you could choose one way to KO someone, how would you choose it?
Damn, you know what? Honestly, it would probably be like just because I don't know, flying like I would want a Trevor Peak like hammer fist like running at them. If I were to do that, that'd be fucking amazing. Just like running, like just running full sprint and just letting a hammer fist fly, you know, like almost like I'm diving into it like Dan Henderson, but standing.
Yeah.
And just like try to KO them, like fucking just see if they go flat.
You know, one up it, do it Anthony Pettis style. You know, Spider-Man climb off the cage and then do the flying fucking hammer fist in the face.
Oh yeah, you know what? You just added another layer onto that. That sounds fucking amazing.
If we see that in the Sphere, could you imagine the giant screen with you?
Oh shit, that would be amazing. Or it would either be a giant you or a whole bunch of little yous. You know.
Yeah. You know, when Dustin Poirier says that he wants to hit that gilly, you know, he wants the guillotine all the time. Is there a move that you have that your coaches say don't do, but you do anyway?
Oh man. Oh yeah. One thing that I've been doing a lot, just like to fuck around, I've been punching people's thighs. I just punch, like I just been punching people's thighs. Like I'll be in the training room just moving around, and I'll just be like feint the jab up top, right hand straight to the thigh, and it fucking works every single time. And I have no idea why it works.
It's like a Charlie.
Hey, someone got KO'd by a titty punch. Go ahead. You never know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess it's like a Charlie horse, right? When you're getting hit in the thigh like that, I guess he would do the same thing.
Yeah, no, it definitely affects them, and I laugh every single time.
All right, Sonosi, you got anything else?
No, the only thing I say is I saw the spear from the outside, not inside. It was an incredible just being from that distance, so I can't imagine what it would be like in the inside fighting there, or even just watching.
That's what she said.
Okay,
yeah,
exactly. There's Sonosi. There it is. All right. That's Sonosi. What do we got over here? This is Manny C coming in. Manny C, welcome to the stream. And Adrian Yanez, excuse me.
Hey, how's it doing, brother? I'm also from Houston.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Good. Not another Houstonian. I love it.
Yes. We're all over the place, man. Worldwide. Hey, question. I guess to make it Houston, when after dieting, after fighting, and having to eat nothing but, boiled chicken breasts, what do you come back and eat to Houston that you can only get in Houston?
Oh man, it's right there off of St. Emmanuel's, St. Emmanuel Street, East Downtown, Rodeo Goat, and I always have to go with the challenge burgers, just because just for principle, like if you ever back in Houston, Rodeo Goat has for people who are not in Houston, Rodeo Goat has. Every month they switch up the burgers, like versus burgers. So I think one time it was a Nolan Ryan versus I think it was like the Spicy Marias, and like they both have different types of like what like toppings and all that stuff, how the burger's made and all that. And I think the last time I went, I think it was like some type of like peanut butter and jelly burger and a hot Cheeto crusted burger.
Wow. That's probably delicious.
Yeah, it was like I went back like about like a month and like right before I went to Vegas. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be. I think that's why Usman called me out of Camp 45. I had fucking that hot Cheeto burger, but yeah, like I have to go there. Like it's never the same menu every month. Like whenever it comes to like the versus burger, so Rodeo Goat is a place that I have to go to.
Fantastic. I'll have to give it a shot. And last question, because I know there's a lot of people online. What's your walkout song and why did you choose it?
So mine was that Mexican OT Kick Dough Click. And honestly, like it would just put me in a mode every single time I would go. And like I'm a big fan of his music. So like that there was like this one part that was kind of just playing in my head. I was like I'm never going back broke, and I'm just like that was like playing in my head this whole entire time. I was like, I'm gonna fuck somebody up. Yeah, I made it here. I'm making like what I'm making. Like I can't go back. I'm not going fucking back. Like I'm not living this. I can't go back to civilian life because it's not who I am.
Damn, that's awesome. I love the name of the song. That's awesome.
Man, yeah, man, have a good one, brother.
All right, Manny.
Hey, you too.
All right, there it is. It's Manny C. I think Manny was trying to get your number. I don't know. But yeah, that's actually a pretty cool song. That's a good idea. So you were ready. You in all aspects, you were ready to fuck this guy up.
100%.
Here's Kevin. Kevin from Chicago. Turn the stream down in the background.
Hey, Adrian, I got a question for you. No, this is all seriousness. Were you really offended by what Tony Kelly said, or were you kind of leaning into the woke crowd to be the hero and shut down the villain? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Man, honestly, it was one of those. I knew that like in that moment that it was how can I say, what's the best way to explain it? I just remember seeing that and being like, that he said some stupid shit, and everything else on top of that was just kind of just like, oh, like people were starting to ride on it. And then also what made it worse it wasn't like it wasn't like the people around me, like, or like Twitter or anything egging it on. It was whenever I did interviews and they kept asking me, and I just kept going like, bro, it's a stupid comment. It is what it is. Like, it was a stupid comment. And and what made it worse is like what made me kind of fucking really like dislike Tony Kelly was that he was talking shit, and then in person he thought like he wasn't reading or hearing the articles. Like, man, like, look, he's like he didn't hear the context of what I was saying. It was a stupid comment. I was saying like, hey, like he's in that moment. If I was watching my significant other get beat up by a Brazilian woman, you know, another Brazilian woman, he just happened to react that way, and I just said it's a stupid comment. You know, it's a dumbass comment that he made. You know, and you know, fuck, like he's being recorded and they caught it. A lot of people didn't like what he said, and he just read the headlines of me saying that was a dumbass comment, and he just ran with it and just started a hatred for me. And then after that, like it just built up, and he just like talked shit. He would DM me, and it honestly, everything else after that was honestly just on him. I just called it a dumbass comment, and you know, it wasn't like me trying to stick up for Brazilians. It was just honestly like, shit, Gilbert Burns put a hit on him, and I was like, that was it, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as like, I wasn't as, I guess to say upset as a Brazilian would be, but I understood the situation of it being like, it was just a dumbass comment that he made.
Yeah, Tony Kelly doesn't seem like the most likable human being. Kevin, you have like a delay, so you spit out the question real quick.
All right, no, that was a good observation, good answer, good recollect of the situation at hand, and I'll get right back to it.
Okay, what the fuck's wrong with him? I don't know. Kainotto, welcome to the stream. You're live with Adrian Yanez.
Hey, what's up, Adrian? Nice to meet you, man.
Hey, nice to meet you too, brother.
Hey, question. Well, you know, I wasn't gonna bring this up, but since you mentioned the parlay thing, and you know, hopefully that you didn't fuck it up for us. You know that my two kids had to split a Lunchable for a month straight because of that fight, man. So you're a jerk, bro. You're a jerk.
Thank you, Kainotto.
Hey. So, Adrian, quick question. You know, like the UFC, just fighting in general, they're always looking for like a Hispanic fighter. You know, in the UFC in particular, they're hoping that Ian Gary's the next big Irish fighter. Do you ever think about maybe changing, like adding a gimmick to your fight style? Maybe start putting on an act just so you can make yourself more marketable. Not that you aren't marketable, but you know what I mean. Like for example, check this name out, right? Let me know if would you ever consider changing your name to this? Adrian No Mames Yanez, right? Dude, the Hispanic community would fucking embrace that shit, bro. Come on.
Man, you know what, man? That would be fucking hilarious. I just don't know if they would say it though. Like they bleep out my walkout song. Like I'll be singing a song and it just says like, let's just say like, it's like, what the fuck? It bleeps out what the, and I'm like, I was in the mode. Y'all just took me out of it, you know? So at least put the uncensored version on there. But you know, I don't know. Like I walked out to like a Mexican song too. Like this last one, the last one, they were bleeping the ones out in Spanish as well too. And I'm like, well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get anything like pull out like a No Mames Yanez, you know. I don't think I don't think they would go with it. I don't think it would fly, but it would be dope.
God damn, that'd be fucking awesome if you do that. Moss, for the gringos out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No Mames, it's a slang word. It's kind of just to show excitement. It can be used for positive, negative. It's almost like saying, hey bruh, what's up, bro? No way, bro.
Okay.
Bro, nah, bro. You know, yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, thank you, Kainotto.
Take it easy, guys.
Hey, have a good one.
What a name. That would be I think people would get a kick out of it. I mean, if that's what the meaning is, it doesn't seem that bad, does it? It's always one of those things where I feel like a lot of people can be used in a bad way, but again, it just depends. Again, you'd be like, no way, like no mames way, but it fucking just be like talking mad shit to somebody and all that. Like it can be used in both ways. I tell you what, that would be great for the sphere. I think Mexican Independence Day, that would be perfect. The change of the name. This is Tropic Tom, all the way from Guam. You are live with Adrian Yanez.
Yo, what's up, dude? Normally I ask a kind of a humor question, but there's a serious question I keep forgetting to ask, so I'm gonna get it done this time around. The Chael's son, and he often makes this comment that the fighters know beforehand who's going to win. And he doesn't mean it that it's like fixed or anything like that. It's kind of like knowing yourself, knowing your opponent. Like if I go play one-on-one basketball with a dude that I'm familiar with, I'll kind of know whether I'm the man or he's the man heading into the thing. Now, do you think that holds weight? Is that true, or is he kind of exaggerating? Do you have that feeling? Like one of you is like, I got this, and the other guy's like, man, I hope the other guy fucks up.
I'd say like for me walking into my last fight, I had the full sense like, oh, I'm beating the fuck out this guy. Like there's nothing he can do that. Like I'm fucking winning. There was honestly like I don't have that feeling whatsoever, but I know I've seen other fighters and other fights where I've looked at it and I just been like, oh, this guy's winning. There's no ifs or buts about it. And like you can see it on the faces of the fighters themselves. Like you can already see like one fighter already kind of being checked out and the other fighter all the way locked in. Like a good example for me, like to be able to give y'all is like I thought the fight with Miesha Tate and Amanda Nunes was going to be a lot more competitive until I saw them in the ring with each other. Until I saw them in the octagon, I saw Miesha Tate and like she's like there's like small little like details that I was looking at. I could see the facial, like her face, like it was just like a little bit like looked worrisome. And then you look across the cage and Amanda Nunes, like she's fucking ready to fucking go, ready to kill. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to Miesha Tate whatsoever. You know, like for me, like that's how that would probably be the easiest way for me to explain that. But I have never felt in the fight looking across the cage being like, oh shit, like, oh fuck, like this guy's gonna fucking beat me, you know. But in the middle of the round, like I felt that before, like in the Martinez fight, like once I knew my leg was fucked up, I remember being like, well, fuck, this guy's on his way. Is on the way to winning.
Oh my god, that must have been a horrible feeling. All right, Tom. Anything else?
A quickie, a more fun quickie one. So if Derek Lewis has the Popeyes sponsorship wrapped up, who's your go-to there in Houston? Who are you going to reach out to once you get big time and have to secure that chicken sponsorship?
Oh man, chicken sponsorship. Damn it, man, that is fucking good. Man, probably El Pollo Loco.
Oh, that'd be amazing, dude. That's amazing. Oh my god, that's a good one right there. All right, Tom, thank you. There's Tropic Tom coming in. We have two more. Okay, you got room for two more in you, Adrian.
Yeah, we're good.
I appreciate you hanging with us deep, man. This has been a great experience hanging with you, and the people I'm sure are thrilled. This is Chris Cushman. He's going to UFC Newark, and he's live with Adrian Yanez.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Hey, man. Hey, congrats on the win. I'm glad you knocked him the fuck out, and that was awesome, man. And I just wanted to ask you, you know, your dad was a Gold Glove winner, and, you know, what was that like teaching your family, you know, from the heritage that you came from? And I know that kind of pushed you into mixed martial arts and everything. And I feel like that really pushed you to be a better fighter. And I just want to know what your thoughts are on that.
Man, yeah. Honestly, with my like that, boxing brought like the family closer. Like again, like all my memories of like from back in the day was like family get-togethers were mostly kind of accommodated around like big boxing fights. So we'd get the pay-per-view, and like I just remember just the family kind of all being together. And my dad was like the way it'd be being hosted at the house, and you know my dad be drinking a beer, watching the fights, and we'd be sitting there like having a grand old time with my dad. So like for me, it was like I only saw fighting, as weird as it is, I only saw fighting bringing people together. And
hell yeah.
And like for me, I was like, oh shit, like I like it kind of like instilled in the young age that this is like kind of what I wanted to do. But once I actually got into it, and once I actually had my first fight, like the feeling of like having the family watching me fight, like man, I like my first amateur fight, man, we sold over like 100 tickets like within like a couple of days, within a couple of days, just because like the family was so like excited to go watch me get in the cage and fight somebody, and just seeing like all the love and support that I have from my family brought me back to whenever I was a kid, watching the boxing fights with my dad and the whole entire family there. So like for me, it was like, oh shit, like it made me love it more. And even now, man, even now, like all the family still gets together to watch me fight on TV, you know, and that kind of gives me a little bit of a more excitement to be a little bit more excitement that like I'm the reason why my family gets together. Like it used to be like my dad would order the pay-per-view fights and like we'd all get together, drink like well, I wouldn't drink beer, but the family would drink beer. And now it's them watching me on the TV screen, me on the big screen, and that to me is really fucking cool.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. Congrats on your win. And, you know, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I'm going to get off here and, you know, let me get to the next caller. So keep going, man. Keep going.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, brother.
That's Chris Cushman. And finally, last but not least, we have Pulse Reloaded, who's actually out of Texas himself. Pulse, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me. What's up? What's up, Adrian?
Yeah, what's up, Pulse? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I actually had a question for you since I know you're a big boxing fan, and also I wanted to say, in my opinion, you got the best boxing in the bantamweight division. I rank yours higher than Piotr Jan, higher than O'Malley, and I think big things coming up for your future. I think you're a future champ, bro.
Hey man, thank you, man. I got to go out there and prove it, man. I had 2 skids. I got to go out there and prove it, man. So I like thank you for putting me out there. But in my head, I got to go out there and showcase and prove it right now.
Right on, absolutely. Well, my question is, so Tyson Fury lost his fight over the weekend on Saturday, but my thing is, I always wondered, like, if he were to fight Stipe Miocic, both of them in their prime, in a bare knuckle fight, like outside of a bar, who do you think would win?
So Tyson Fury versus Stipe Miocic in a bare knuckle fight outside of a bar. Man, it's a puncher's chance for Tyson in the sense of like if he avoids getting taken down, you know, like again, it just goes into the whole like yeah, if he gets taken down, like especially if it's in the street right outside the bar, man. One takedown, one Uchimata, one trip is off the floor, like because he again, I don't know if he knows how to break fall or anything like that, man. There's a lot of like X factors when it comes into it too, because man, the man has skinny legs, and let's just say to throw somebody off, you think you're gonna like. Again, I've also kind of had thoughts like this again because my mind goes everywhere whenever I'm out and about. Like, man, if I have to get ready to do this, I got to do this. Like, if a guy comes up to me wanting to fight, man, I'm gonna kick a leg. I'm not gonna punch him in the face, you know. Kick a leg first if I do anything, you know. See how they take that, see what they do. But for him, man, yeah, man. Let's just say like a Stipe, like knows how to wrestle. He might just shoot in, take him down. Just honestly, it's for me. I just looking at it, it's more of a puncher's chance for Tyson Fury. If it's just straight boxing, like a bare knuckle boxing fight, I'm going Tyson Fury all day. But if it's just like a regular fight, like they just let the bar and they're both drunk and ready to fight, man, I'm giving it to Stipe.
Okay, I feel that. And then just one more, if I could, because I know you're a boxing fan. So apparently, the rumor is that Terrence Crawford is gonna fight Canelo. Who do you think? Or like, do you think? Like, who do you think wins?
Oh man, that is a really good tough one, man. I thought he was gonna have a lot more trouble fighting Errol Spencer, but man, he made that look really, really easy. He was so based out. Like one thing I was really impressed about Terrence Crawford in his fight with Errol Spencer, that he didn't get bullied. Him moving up a weight class, he didn't get bullied at all by the guy who bullies people. And yeah, like I was really impressed. But like depending on where they fight at, I think he fought Errol Spence at 150, 147. And then let's just say he fights Canelo at 168. Like Canelo cuts down to 168. And Terrence Crawford, I don't know how much he weighed in, like how much he weighed after he cut to 147. He might have been walking in at maybe like 162 if anything, and then on top of that he's gonna have to pick up a little bit of weight so he can make that 168 limit, depending like from I think might have to make 166 or 167. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much that would actually affect him. I would probably I am more leaning towards Canelo, but if Terrence Crawford puts his boots on and just ends up trying to use his feet a lot more and not try to stay in front of Canelo, then yeah, he definitely has a chance, man. I definitely think that there's weight classes for a reason, and even in boxing as well too. You know, you can be a lot more skillful, but at the same time, man, there's only so much like you can do when it comes to like being the bigger size guy, you know. So for me, I'm leaning towards Canelo, but again, I've seen some crazier things happen. We've seen Roy Jones move up from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight and knock somebody out. So I'm not counting Terrence Crawford out one bit, but I am leaning towards Canelo.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you for answering my questions. Again, I think you're the truth, man, and I see bright things in your future. And thanks, Moss, for letting me on.
All right,
hey,
Pulse.
man, thank you.
There he is, Pulse Reloaded. Oh yeah, baby. I tell you what, you are quite the pro here. This is not your first rodeo. You handled the calls very well. How do you feel right now? You feel good? Everything's fine?
Oh yeah, everything's fine, man. I was, you know, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was expecting for one guy to bring like, you fucking lost me all that money on the font fight, motherfucker. I was waiting. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna play it cool. No, but nah, everybody's so fucking cool on here, man. You got some dope ass fans, bro. I love that.
Yeah, they're a good community. They're a solid community. And Adrian, I really appreciate you spending some extra time talking to the people. We started this segment a couple of fighters back, and you're like the third one that we've tested this on. And I love it, man. I love, you know, hearing the people just come out of the chat. You don't know what the hell they're gonna say. And you handled it beautifully.
Oh yeah, man. I'm not even gonna lie. That was really fun.
Awesome.
That was really fun.
You're the man. Yo, listen, you're always allowed back over here on the MMA Holes if you want to hang with us. And Helldivers or any other video games, if you want to jump in, let's squad up, man. Let's get some of these guys together. I talked to Ben Rothwell. What do you say? Like you, me, Ben Rothwell, and Mike Beast Boy Davis or some shit like that. Would you squad up with us?
I'd be down. Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, we got to work something out. Yeah, because I got to...
let me know when. I'm down.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll fucking lose and die and shit like that, but it'd be a lot of fun, you know, talking shit. But yeah, I'll definitely reach out to you on that. And man, listen, I appreciate you coming on. I'm very happy that you're coming off this big win. What do you think? If you had to make a prediction, Sphere? Is it looking Sphere, or what do you think?
Oh, man, I might be back in August, but I'm really hoping it's the Sphere. So probably August for sure, but the Sphere is what I'm praying for.
Hell yeah. And if there's any sponsors or anyone you want to shout out, go for it.
Oh, yeah, man. Hold on. I actually got something. This company, Compex, man, they fucking helped me out, like getting back to 100% after my injury. They helped me out so much, man. They like, that was such a great addition, like from knee surgery to like them just helping me out however they could, man. They did amazing, man. Drink HRW, thank you so much. And then also my my lawyer, Chris Denuna at Denuna Law Firms, they're amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Oh, again, man, thank you for the platform. Thank you for having me on, man. This is dope as hell.
Awesome, Adrian. Listen, I love chatting with you, and looking forward to chatting again soon, okay?
All right, yes, sir.
There he is. Brother? Adrian Yanez live on the MMA-Holes chat. What do you say? The great Adrian Yanez coming back, talking to the people. I tell you what, I had a blast. I like talking to Adrian. He's a cool dude, man. And I'm very happy that he got that win. And if you missed it, go check out that St. Louis fight over there. Go follow him on his IG. The name it's just Adrian Yanez, Yanez. I'll show you over here. 93. Adrian Yanez, 93. Tell him the MMA Holes sent you. Go follow him on YouTube and Twitch and wherever he's doing his streams. I'm sure he'll be doing some gaming things in the meantime, but it seems like he's laser focused, looking to get back into the rankings. I mean, this guy over here, I'm telling you, 30 years of age. He's still very, very young, Adrian, and one of the best strikers in the UFC, if not maybe the best bantamweight striker, like Pulse Reloaded said. As I was doing that interview, in the background, the Rangers are on. It's 1-0. Florida has a power play. And I saw the goal that was taken away. I saw all that shit. I multitasked, and I'm a phenomenal interviewer and multitasker. I'm the greatest of all time that's ever done it. And all I ask in return is you hit that like button, share the stream with all your friends out there. I'm going to watch the rest of this game. Love you guys. Thank you guys for stopping by. In the comments section down below, spam it with whatever. Talk about Adrian, what's next. I want to know what you think who you think he's going to fight next. I say Dominic Cruz. Make it happen at the Sphere in September, Mexican Independence Day. That's what I'm saying over there. But let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about Adrian Yanez. And thank you guys once again for watching. Remember this, don't be an a-hole, be an MMA hole. Remember, the 300th episode of Fook Off Friday is this Friday. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's go Rangers.